He's been scanning the skies over New Brunswick for more than 30 years, searching for one thing: big wings, white head, the bald eagle. Rudy Stoshik found out how many there were 30 years ago and has tracked the improvement in the eagle population, seeking out their nests from small planes and helicopters.
Well, it started probably in 1974 sometime. I had a particular interest in eagles because I was on the Endangered Species Committee for the province, and we were itemizing a number of plants and particularly animals that we should put on a list that might be endangered. And we had to have some reasonably good reason why we should put these things on, so we put the bald eagle on. But when I looked a little further on it, I found out there was very little information on it. There was virtually no information of any substance here in New Brunswick. So I said, well, I better get some information on that and the osprey and a few others that we need. And then I worked on it for about a year. I was teaching at the Ranger School at the time, and I decided I better carry this a little further because, you know, you want to get some idea of how many birds there are in the province or what they've been doing or how successful they are. You have to pretty well move from area to area, from nest to nest, to see how they're doing during the year, which means that I had to really fly to get a lot of this information as well. It took time. I said, you're not going to do this in 1 year. So I continued on that, and before you know it, there was about 25 or 30 years ended up, and I'm still working on it there. But I think we had a pretty good idea on what would happen.
Over his career as a wildlife biologist at the Forest Ranger School and with the Provincial Department of Natural Resources, Stoshik has published about 24 scientific articles on eagles. He's now turned a lifetime of knowledge into a recently published book called Through the Eye of an Eagle.
Rudy's a good chap. I like him.
Peter Pierce is a former federal wildlife biologist and an avid birder. On his watch at the Fredericton landfill during this Christmas bird count, he spotted 13 bald eagles roosting together. Pierce says Stoshik and his new book have made a real contribution to public knowledge about the eagle.
He's done a very good job of bringing a massive data together, you know, and analysing it. And it's all in one place now, and I know he's very pleased with it, and most people that see the book are, because he's gathered a lot of information and he's finally put it together. So if you want to know about eagles in New Brunswick, that's where you find out about it, in that book.
He's the man.
He's the man.
New Brunswick is now looking for public consultation on a new Endangered Species Act. That could mean a review of the status of eagles. They're now classed as regionally endangered, an improvement in their status over the past 30 years. Stoshik documented the rise in the numbers of eagles, but he doesn't think the birds are out of the woods yet.
We had at the time in 1974 about 15 pairs, estimated about 15 pairs. And that's not a heck of a lot when you consider the whole province here. But they gradually have gone up little by little, and then in the 1990s they seem to have increased in abundance to quite an extent to where I would say by 1998-99 we had about 70-75 pairs throughout the province. Not only did we have more birds, we also had them placed in different parts of the province. In the past, there were very few birds up north, very few birds to the east of us here, but most of the birds in New Brunswick are on the southwestern part of the province, from St. John to the border, to the main border, because there are a lot of lakes there. You know, there's water, with a lot of water, that tends to attract the birds. But over the years, we found that there have been more birds moving up the river a little bit, and a few nesting further up, but more of them nesting further east now, around the Westmoreland County area and such like that. So the birds really have started spreading out. So not only have they got more abundant breeding birds, but they've scattered their nesting more throughout the province.
Rudy Stoshik will be keeping his eye out for eagles, and his lifetime of research is now out there for all to see. Roy Elsta, CBC News, Fredericton.